Good evening everyone, welcome to Apex Racing TV, warmest compliments of the season to you all, and welcome to the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the BSR Hub MX5 series. And we're in for three very exciting races tonight, the start of a new season, and we're delighted to be bringing it to you all here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Adam Bath here, and joining me tonight we have got Dave Christie, and we've also got Kev Noon as well. So, well, Dave, I'll come to you first. First of all, happy Christmas. I know it's only a week away, but yeah, we're here for the MX5. Should be interesting.
It's an absolute crackerjack of a start to the season. Spa's one of the legendary tracks. We all know how much I love the MX5s, and given what looks like a very, very high turnout, Adam, this is going to be a fantastic race for everybody watching at home.
Now, Kevin, we've got a fixed setup for this race, so everyone's going to be on the same setup, and it should provide a nice level playing field for everyone at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Just to follow on what Dave said, you know, the cars are great to drive, but you can also really drive them hard, which will hopefully keep the pack together. You know, the field is stacked with some big names, but also the middle pack will be quite jam-packed as well with lots of battles throughout the field, so it should be good with only a 6-lap race, so there shouldn't be too much of a breakaway from people.
Well, we've got a 10-minute qualifying session about to begin, then we will have 3 races across the evening, and from judging from what we can see at the moment, it is going to be 3 races of 6 laps in length. We have got some names here in this championship. We've got Ash Sutton, British Touring Car race winner and Jack Sears Trophy winner. Stelin Chepalevsky, who won the championship last season. He's racing for Apex Racing UK. Diogo Melro, the double Club Series champion, which is now known as the BSR Kia Cup, which will be running on Saturday nights. Matt Bunn also represented. Stuart McFadden also there as well. And Kip Stevens, who is a 2-time BSR TC champion. Dave, the Kia Optima front-wheel drive, many of these drivers we see racing it, but the MX-5 is completely different. First of all, it's rear-wheel drive, of course.
Yeah, and of course the changes that they made this year, bringing it to the global MX5 Cup car, it's went really, really well. The new MX5 Cup is just an absolute joy to drive. I've made my feelings very clear on how I feel driving the Kia Optima. It's not the greatest car, but a lot of the drivers here enjoy it because of that heightened level of skill that it takes to drive. But this is a very, very easy car to drive, and like you said earlier on as well, Adam, the curve on it means that all the drivers should be very, very close to each other indeed.
Kev, it's the rookie car that everyone gets to drive. And therefore, most people should be on top of it, really.
No, I think there's a big difference between being able to get around and then to get the pace to be at the front. To find those couple of tenths of a second throughout the lap is really difficult. I mean, I did some races with these guys prior to this series, and I found myself mid-pack because just finding those tenths of a second across one lap to stay in touch is really difficult. It's all to do with how you turn in the car and rotating the car through the corners, so it just makes it, you really need to learn how to drive the car in a specific way. Even though it is a quite easy car to drive, getting that maximum out of it is quite tough.
Conditions for the 3 races tonight: we've got morning for race 1, sunrise conditions there, then we've got afternoon for race 2, the hottest race of the day, and then we'll be ending race 3 in late afternoon conditions. We've got a very exciting reverse grid, which will be coming up for race 2 and race 3. 21 to 29, I do believe, is the numbers that we have, plus the opportunity for 4 full reverse grids. The race organisers trying to do everything possible, I think, to try and make us have as many cars as possible reversed. Now, looking at the amount of cars we had registered for practice, we had just shy of 39 cars. And Dave, 40 Mazda MX-5s going into Eau Rouge on the first lap. That's definitely going to be a sight to behold.
I would quite literally pay a lot of money to see that. It's going to be craziness to see. But just going back to the practice, there was actually Dan Hunt who was fastest in practice with a 2:46.864. But one person, Adam, I want to bring your attention to is Alexander Smolensky, who actually managed to do a 2:47.332, about maybe sort of 6/10 off of that pace. Now, Dan did it on lap 12, Alex did it in lap 4, so I think he's bang on the pace right now, and I'll be very interested to see what he can do in qualifying.
Yeah, Alex Walensky, BSR TC veteran, of course, has driven for many teams in the past, has come close to winning a championship a few seasons ago, and yeah, hitting it right from the get-go in practice, only 4 laps into the practice session, and he was already setting personal best times. And despite the fact that it's a very long lap, Kev, we're getting pretty close lap times. Dan Hunt 2:46.8, and then down to about the top 20, Roy Verkerk 20th, only separated by about 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be even closer in the race. The slipstream of the Mazda is quite powerful. Obviously, you've got the big long straight after Eau Rouge, so it should keep everyone together. And I think in typical BSR fashion, Eau Rouge at the first lap is going to be definitely interesting.
Probably makes sense why they upped the incident limit to 20 for this opening race meeting of the season.
They never do that when I'm racing.
I know. I've had my fair share of disqualifications in the past. I'm back at the grids, like a few weeks ago in the World Series at Donington,
which you didn't serve.
Good. It's a good thing I've got commitments. Yeah, it's already kicked off here, and we're only a few minutes into the broadcast. We'll try and keep the peace for the next few hours. I promise you that. Drivers now on their out laps at the moment. They'll be about to set their flying laps, and then we'll be about to see who is going to be in the running for pole position.
I think it'll be interesting to see who's working with who, because, like I said, the slipstream is massively powerful down here. So I imagine there'll be a few groups of people go around together.
Yeah, and there is a few teams represented here. If I get my entry list sheet out, which I've got here, Kip Stevens driving for Team Triple SSS, along with Laura Bond. CQR Club have got Matt Bunn, along with Ash Sutton, and Diogo Mel driving for CQR as well. Automech have also got a team fielded here today. They've got Max Wright, along with Rob Graham, Simon Roden, and Scott Malcolm. Engine Oil Director also there. Some familiar BSR TC names here. Lee Barmer also there. Crown Racing, Joe McDonald. Al Motorsports with Alexander Lauritsen. And and of course Apex with Stelian Chepelevsky, the winner in the championship last season. And Steve Hefford was able to get a win in the MX-5s last week at Okayama. But Okayama and Spa, Dave, you couldn't really get completely different racetracks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Okayama, I've had a fair run in it this week with the Skip Barbers, and Okayama is it's a fantastic track, don't get me wrong. A nice mix of fast straights and tight technical back infield sections, but this is just purely all in all about pure speed, Adam. And the problem is that if you mess up early on into your lap, that momentum is lost for the entirety of the lap, and it's very, very difficult to get that speed back up very, very quickly. So you'll find that, you know, you make one or two mistakes early on the lap and you are going to lose a couple of places.
It's definitely it's definitely all about momentum in this car, Kev. We saw at Okayama in the MX-5s. If you make one single mistake, you're really on the back foot, as Dave's been saying, for the rest of the lap, and then you've got to have your wits about you trying to defend all the positions that you're trying to hold on to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just like any normally aspirated underpowered car. It's all about corner speed and your entry into the whole corner. You need a good entry speed, good mid corner, but then you also need a good exit. Because if somebody gets a better exit than you, then they're just, again, with the slipstream bins are powerful, and these you just get eaten up and you just find yourself going backwards. And once you end up in a pack, it's very difficult to then regain that momentum to carry on going forward.
Well, Ash Sutton's just going through the Fania chicane now. He's on his way to the final section of the lap here. We'll get to see what the qualifying times are going to be like. In all fairness, this is probably going to be the only run they're going to get unless they're going to stay out for another lap. It's such a long lap here, just under 3 minutes, so we've only got a 10-minute qualifying session. So Sutton on his way towards
And there's huge
Longchamp.
incident with Dan Hunt,
Oh,
though.
blink,
And
crash then.
Yep, that is at least 3 cars that went out there, and I do believe that might have been Dan Hunt and possibly Ashley Sutton. They were all together in a group there, and Dan Hunt took the brunt of it. He was leading that group and got hit from behind, and at least 2 cars went off there, and that is surely going to wreck his qualifying.
Yeah, Dan Hunt getting into the back of Simon Landemore through the Fania chicane, and that's given Hunt a substantial amount of damage to the front and a substantial amount of damage and a ruined lap to the rear of Simon Landemore, so that's not what he wanted at all. Ash Sutton just comes across the line now, 2:47.812, not as good as his personal best in practice. Second goes Alexander Lauritsen, Matt Bunn third, Laura Bond puts her time up in 4th place. No 2:46s just yet, and with Dan Hunt's demise there, Kevin, that drama there in the Fania chicane, it looks like he's going to have to try and set another lap.
Yeah, he's going to be out quick. But a note of Ash is on the track on his own, so I think if somebody is clever enough to utilise the slipstream, I think they will beat that 2:47.8.
Looks like Dan Hunt's reset his car because he's got a nice clean Mazda MX-5 Cup car now, and he is on another outlap in a opportunity to try and get that pole position. However, Dave, because of him resetting the car, it most certainly means that he's going to be on his own and without any slipstream help when he's setting his qualifying time.
Yeah, and as Kev has discussed earlier on, the slipstream is so important there, as we see Ash Sutton completely missing out the turn there, and that's going to wreck his lap there. I wonder if he's going to actually have any more time left to do it. I think that's going to be Ashley Sutton's qualifying over with going straight on at that turn. But yeah, sorry, back to your point, the slipstream and being on your own is a massive disadvantage to yourself. But on the other side, you don't have any other risk of anybody else blocking you or getting in your way. So it swings and roundabouts, Adam.
Stellion's just gone quicker with a 2:47.6. Just put in there.
Yes, he has, and that is a good 3 tenths of a second quicker than his personal best in practice for Stelian Chepelevsky. Was 7th at the fall of the flag in practice earlier on, but yeah, 2:47.6, and that is him on provisional pole position for now. And as you can see, Ash Sutton completely off the pace there, and that is going to be the end of his qualifying.
I'll just put in there, I actually think he's out on Pete Newman, because he did get Pete slipstreamed him down the straight, and then Ash just went straight onto the chicane, so I think he was just giving Pete a bit of a tow.
See if that's been able to help Pete Newman at all.
He's just put it in the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Oh, never mind.
Right on cue, first commentator curse of the season, and yeah, he loses the rear going into Stavilo, and yeah, hits the wall, and we're going to see quite a few Mazda MX-5s looking like that.
Because he'll not get back out now.
Nope, he hasn't. He's going to be towards the back of the grid then.
Only 17 cars were only able to set their qualifying times on the opening lap, and it shows Dave that the incident limit the track's pretty harsh when it comes to incident points.
It is an absolute battle of attrition on this track, Adam. That's one of the things that makes it so legendary and so much fun to watch, because you've got not only we saw there him losing it himself, Pete Newman losing it of his own accord, nobody around him, but also you've then got to factor in 30 other cars to fight with as well. It is going to be absolutely craziness, and I'm just so excited for this.
Haven't got long left to wait. Diogo Melro puts himself up into 3rd place, 2:47.864, teammate of Ash Sutton, of course. But we're waiting with interest to see what Dan Hunt does. He's just starting his qualifying lap now, with just under a minute left on the clock. So we will be able to complete this lap when he gets around. And yeah, we'll be able to see where he gets on the grid. Alexander Lauritsen in 4th, Stuart McFadden in 5th. He's just come across the line there, 2:48.2 for him. Matt Bunn in 6th. Steve Hefford, winner at Okayama in the BSR Pro Series. And Robert Hartley puts the car onto pole position, Kev.
That's a quick lap time.
Very quick. Yeah, 2:47.3 was his personal best in practice. Put him 4th. Second row of the grid there, but he's put on pole. It'll be
wondering whether he's actually had a slipstream off someone, because like I said before, and I'll say it again, that the slipstream does make a massive difference around here.
Guys, keep an eye on Chepelevsky, because he's at the moment right on the toe of Smolensky. Could be a very fast lap to take pole position here. We'll have to see as he comes across the line any second now.
And he does He is an invalidated lap, so he hasn't been able to improve for Stelian Chepelevsky, so he will remain in 2nd place. Now all eyes And Dan Hunt's out of qualifying. So while we were looking at Chepelevsky, Dan Hunt out of qualifying. Don't know what happened there. And I think he might have picked up an off-track incident point looking at the replay. Yeah, but he went out onto the AstroTurf on the exit of the corner with no name. And Kev, that is very easy to do, and it's an incident point, and that's his lap invalidated.
This track's a nightmare for off tracks. It's so easy to pick them up. But going back to qualifying, there was a lot of big names who haven't set lap times. You've got Hunt, Barmer, Pete Newman's in there, Smolensky. There's a few other. Rob Verke is normally pretty consistent, although I don't think he's quite a front runner. But he's there's some big names in there who haven't actually posted lap time. So the race is going to be even more exciting now with all them quick boys at the back.
If any of you watched the MX-5 race on Thursday that we had on Apex Racing TV, you will have seen that there was absolutely plenty of overtaking going on. Some drivers almost making gains of 30 spots during the race. And with a track like Spa, with the slipstream that it has to offer, we're definitely going to see something like that. Well, we haven't got too long left to wait in qualifying here. Just seeing if we've got anyone else out on a lap. We've got Kip Stevens, we've got a few drivers working their way towards the line, including Ash Sutton, but he's not going to be setting a representative time at all. Scott Malcolm, though, he's on his way to the line. 17th place, 251.2 is his personal best in qualifying, 251.6 in practice. The Automet car just negotiating the bus stop chicane now. Matt Bunn puts the car up into 3rd place, so that is a change there for the CQR driver. Scott Malcolm comes across the line 251.185, that is an improvement, and he moves up to 17th place. Alex Smolensky, though, Dave, you were talking about... Oh, sorry, we were speaking about his pace, and it looks like he is on his way towards the line now, just going through Blanchimont.
Yeah, that's right, and be very interesting because I was bigging him up before we started the qualifying, and he's just had nothing to show for it right now because Chepelevsky is still on his tail, and I'm struggling to remember, did Chepelevsky cross before the time?
I have done it. It was pretty close, wasn't it? Here we go then. Chepelevsky ducking out to the outside going into the bus stop chicane, and as you can see there, Alex Smolensky backing off. No lap time for him. Through the bus stop chicane he goes. Kip Stevens goes 12th, by the way. Some late times coming in here. Spa-Francorchamps. Stelian Chepelevsky comes across the line and does a 2 minutes 47.4, and that is him back to the top.
Yep, that made all the difference there, Adam. Getting that toe around the track obviously worked out well for him at the demise of Alexander Smolensky. I think Smolensky's going to be ruining his chances there, but I think that is pretty much going to be how it ends right here.
Yeah, it looks like everyone has completed a lap time. And without further ado, we can go down to the grid and look at the 40-car grid that we're going to have for the opening race of the day and the opening race of the season of the BSR MX5 Cup here on Apex Racing TV. And here we go then, let's read you through the grid. Stelian Chepelevsky starts on pole position for Apex Racing. Robert Hartley, front row of the grid for him. Fantastic job there in qualifying for Robert Hartley. Matt Bunn starting on the second row of the grid with his teammate Ash Sutton there as well. Diogo Melro in 5th, Alexander Lauritsen in 6th, top 10 in practice, and backing that up with a 6th place in qualifying. Stuart McFadden in 7th with Steve Peppard in 8th, Ashley Beard in 9th, and Laura Bond rounding out the top 10. Cesare Rizzo will start in 11th, Kip Stevens 12th. Jamie Ayres was racing in the MX5 races on Thursday at Okayama. He's starting in 13th place. Joe McDonald in 14th. 15th is Rob Graham with Lee Diemer in 16th. David White in 17th. Peter Van Gool, who was reversed onto pole position at Okayama on Thursday, starting in 18th. Scott Malcolm 19th and 20th, Lorne Murray. Max Wright starting in 21st with Jason Greenfield in 22nd. Steve Walker, blast from the past there from the BSR TC days, was Dave Baker's teammate when Baker won the championship back in Season 7, starting in 23rd. Colin Robinson starting in 24th. Steve Richardson 25th. Alan Mitchell in 26th. Two-time BSR TC champion Andreas Katz starting 27th with Alex Smolensky alongside him. Pete Newman in 29th, so 3 big BSR TC names there. Brian Holmes in 30th, 31st. Dan Hunt was fastest in practice but didn't set a time due to a crash and a incident point. 32nd for Jack McIntyre, Roy Verke 33rd. Oh, there's Dave Christie. I know he's in the comp box with us, isn't he? But you will be starting in 34th, Dave. Simon Roden in 35th. Forstein Helgeson in 36th. Michael Barry in 37th. Simon Landamore, who was involved with contacts with Dan Hunt at the early stages of qualifying, in 38th. Lewis Bibby, who beat me to a BSR World Series race a few weeks ago, starting in 39th. And Lee Barmer rounding out the grid, starting in 40th place.
Yep, that'll be a nice easy position for the bottom 5 of the field there as I get wiped out. But yeah, it's looking like a fantastic field, really full. Turn 1 is going to be crazy as we come up to Radion and Eau Rouge. It's just all going to kick off, and I think we should maybe give our listeners a headphone warning. Definitely,
yeah. They could be shouting. Or maybe you want to turn up the volume and listen to the beauty of 4C Mazda MX-5s. Kev, the top 6 has got so many big names in it, but can you pick a winner?
I want to put money on Ash. I think he's just his ability to overtake and just to drive in a close confines with other drivers. I think will just set him apart a little bit. I think he's very clever when it comes to his racecraft.
Here we go then. The revs are going to start to build here. The lights are on. And now the green light's on, and we're away here at Spa. Look at the tyre smoke getting kicked up here. Chepelevsky gets away well, but it's Hartley that's got the better jump, and he leads going into the source. So Robert Hartley starts his second on the grid, leading here. Now we're into one of the first tricky spots on the circuit. Matt Bunn gets through okay, so does Ash Sutton. And now we're on our way towards Eau Rouge. Everyone's scattering this way and that. A few cars getting out of shape, and we've got a car around at the back, and that is
Dan Hunt's just been spun at the back. He's right at the back now. It's unlucky. He's having a terrible time.
Dan Hunt in the wars ever since practice ended. It's all been going horribly wrong for him. Now we're going through Eau Rouge. Diogo Melro having to come under pressure here from Steve Hefford, who was going around the outside of Radion there, and he's got the place. So Steve Hefford through into 7th place. Good start there from him, and now the fanning out begins, Dave.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm surprised that every single car, bar one, managed to get through Eau Rouge without a scratch. But Chepelevsky really under pressure right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see whether or not he can make that work on Hartley.
Diogo Melro's around. The 2-time Club Series champion has been hit and has lost the car, and yeah, he's now facing the wrong way at the end of Les Combes there, Kev.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that one, but that's unfortunate. He had a nice little start there, and he was working his way up, so it's unfortunate for that.
Yeah, Diogo Melro started in 5th place on the grid, but as we head down towards Pouhon then, it is Hartley leading, Steny Chepelevsky 2nd, Ash Sutton in 3rd, then it's Matt Bunn, Stuart McFadden and Alexander Lauritsen, then it's a bit of a gap back to Laura Bond, Ashley Beard there in our white Mazda MX-5, then Steve Hefford and Kip Stevens rounding out the top 10. Dan Hunt, awful start for him, he's now in 30th place. Definitely not what Dan Hunt wanted, especially considering it's his setup that everyone is using here, and it'll be interesting to see us fight back through the field, and he might be able to take advantage of that reverse grid as well, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine someone with Dan's pace will catch back up, and I'd imagine to see him well outside of the reverse grid zone back come the end of the race.
Well, we're coming around to complete the first lap then. Dave, we're going on our way towards Blanchimont. If you were Robert Hartley, would you be enjoying this being out at the front at the moment, or would you be starting to feel the pressure of the big names of Chepelevsky and Sutton in your rearview mirror?
Absolutely not, especially if I was noticing the fact that I'm actually pulling away from Chepelevsky at the moment, because Chepelevsky is under huge pressure as he's almost getting a move put on him by number 13 Ashley Sutton, trying to make a move up into 2nd place, but it's not going to stick.
Very close here, going through the bus stop chicane to complete lap 1 of the race, up over the timing line. 5 laps to go here in the race. Lap 1 already in the books, and now Stelian Chepelevsky is going to concede the place to Ash Sutton. Sutton going around the outside, the CQR car getting the superior run on the exit of the final chicane, and Ash Sutton now through into 2nd place. 0.4 of a second between him and Robert Hartley, and now we're going to definitely see the advantage of the slipstream as we go into Eau Rouge. Look at Rob Hartley there though, Dave, moving across to the inside line. He's just trying to disturb the slipstream as much as he can so that Ash Sutton doesn't get the run through the top of the hill.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I'd be more focused on trying to keep my own pace up. The thing is, we know from Ash's experience with the touring cars, he's not afraid of a little door-to-door action, and Sutton usually comes off the better man out of this. But they're side by side as they come down the straight there, and I think he's taking the lead. Ash Sutton takes the lead.
Sutton to lead, and Stalin Chepelevsky under pressure from Matt Bunn as well. Matt Bunn, a colleague of Ash Sutton, driving for the CQR, the yellow team. I will know the name of it eventually, but yeah, Stalin Chepelevsky down to third place. The pole sitter losing 2 spots in the early going here at Spa, and now Ash Sutton to lead. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it. As Stuart McFadden keeping close distances with these guys, and Alex Lauritsen just starting to drift back a little bit. Steve Hefford and Ashley Beard having a close battle here with Laura Bond and her teammate in Kip Stevens close together, and then Jamie Ayres in 11th place. The end of that big group, and we're starting to see here, Kev, some big packs starting to form.
Yeah, you expect that around this track. They'll start bunching up and just use the slipstream off each other. You'll be just swapping positions more than anything else. I don't think anyone will really catch the group in front.
Diego Melro also trying to get some positions back. He's up to 17th, gain of quite a few positions since the start of the lap. At the end of the lap 1, he was in 21st place. Now he's up into 17th. He's got 2 cars battling away here, and Lee Deemer and Scott Malcolm going into the Fania chicane. And he might be able to use this, Dave, to try and get some more positions before the end of lap 2.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is being in the middle of these big groups, Adam, you get so much of a boost, because it's not just a boost to the car in front, it's the car in front of that and the car in front of that, and the top speed for the guys at the back gets increased ever more so, but it also increases the danger here as we see a group of around about 6 of them going down.
Same time, we could be having another battle for a lead on our hands. Robert Hartley looking to the inside of Ash Sutton going into the chicane. Go on, Rob, have a little bit of a go. He brakes just a little bit earlier, and that might allow Stalin Chepelevsky to get up the inside, and you get so nervous there because you know the slightest touch to the rear and these Mazda MX-5s will go round like a top. And now Chepelevsky's going to have to worry because Matt Bunn is now trying to assault him on the outside, and he could be facing another position lost here going into La Source, Kev.
Yeah, but I'm just following up on Dan Hunt just to see where he is. He's still quite far back, just battling with Max Wright, struggling a little bit to get past, but I think he's slowly working his way back through the field. Yeah,
he's up to 22nd place now, is Dan Hunt, considering he was down in 30th after that spin in La Source at the start of the race. Shades of Mika Hakkinen at Spa 98 there. Hartley's got a fantastic run off of Lecom though, and through Radion we go. He's cutting to the outside of Ash Sutton. We're going to see the top speeds here of these Mazda MX-5s. 184 kilometers per hour for Ash Sutton, 185. He now cuts into the slipstream. Rob Hartley has the lead for now, but will he lose it due to the fact that Ash Sutton's been able to pick the slipstream back up of him going into Lecom? Hartley braking late, and in the background, who's that going around the outside? That's Stuart McFadden doing Stalin Chepelevsky and Matt Bunn. 3 wide as well somewhere, I hear. Oh yeah, look at this. We've got Lord Murray, we've got Dan Hunt. Hunt on the move, as Kev was saying, and up the inside he goes on Lord Murray. Is he going to try and get Brian Holmes with that Liverpool livery there? He'll be hoping for a good result tomorrow night, but no, he can't. Dan Hunt, though, threw up another place into 20th, Kev.
Yeah, he's working his way through pretty well. I knew he would, so.
But yeah, Stuart McFadden, Dave, catching all of us unawares. They're getting past Stalin Chepelevsky and Matt Bunn.
Yeah, I try and stay quiet about Stuart. As we see, is Ash Sutton just went way wide there.
That is Ash
Goodness
Sutton.
me. Ash Sutton run way wide, bringing himself into the range of Stuart McFadden there. But back to McFadden, I try not to speak about him too much. He's a very close friend of mine, a very big personal favourite. The young lad is incredibly talented, and what a move he pulled on Chepelevsky there. And you know, I wouldn't rule him out going much higher there, but an absolutely uncharacteristic error there from Ashley Sutton.
Yeah, just looking back at the replay, it was a small slide through Pouon, and that was enough for him to take to the escape road. But you can see more side-by-side action here. Stalin Chepelevsky versus Matt Bunn. Sheppy trying to gain some positions back after starting on the pole and losing them. He's pushing Matt Bunn to the outside there going into Blanchimont. Is Bunn going to go around the outside? You will get an incident point for that. No, he's able to keep all 4 wheels in the track, and here comes Alex Lauritsen through Stelin Chepelevsky, and he might be able to get Matt Bunn going into the chicane. Fantastic stuff there. Oh, look at Matt Bunn late on the brakes. That was feisty there. And here comes Chepelevsky round the outside of Lauritsen. So positions changing left, right and centre here. And this is what we were talking about, Dave. This MX-5, it's all about momentum, and we're seeing that right here.
Yeah, how often have we seen that? I mean, Chepelevsky's been really, really bad for that this race, taking his chances but not thinking through, how's that going to affect my exit of the corner, how's that going to affect my top line speed coming out of this, and you're seeing him getting swamped by 2-3 guys at a time, and that's why he's going all the way backwards. And I've got to say, you know, he needs to get his act together if he's going to hold on to that 4th, 5th place.
Oh, this is very close going over the top of the hill at Eau Rouge. Chepelevsky's going to cut to the outside. It's what Robert Hartley was able to do to Ash Sutton earlier on, and keep a watchful eye on Alexander Lauritsen. He might be able to do both of them here. We could be about to go 3 wide. Where's Lauritsen going to go? He's trying to pick up the slipstream off both of them here, and I think he might have just stopped himself the ability of getting that position. Chepelevsky should be able to hold on to 4th place. That is him taking the racing line there, and then Matt Bunn remains in 5th, and Lauritsen, who had the opportunity to get both of them there, now down to 6th place. Robert Hartley, though, he's back under pressure from Ash Sutton. That didn't take long. Sutton went off at Pouon on the last lap, and already the gap's bound back down to 1/10 of a second. 2.5 laps to go here. You can see the drivers using every single bit of road here, going through the corner with no name. Sutton putting 2 wheels into the dirt there on the exit, and now going into Pouon, Kev. Rob Hartley's going to have to try and hold on for another 2.5 laps.
Yeah, I think it'll start getting closer. If the guys behind are clever and work together, I think they should be able to punch themselves back up, because there's a bit of a gap between the leaders who aren't really going to start struggling. I think if the 3 guys in the group get their heads down and just slipstream each other, they'll catch them back up, and it'll be a massively entertaining final lap.
We've lost Matt Bunn. Now Matt Bunn, who was in 4th place, lost the car going into Pouon, did what Ash Sutton did, but unfortunately it didn't end the same way for him, and he's now facing the pack. He's got back going again due to the nature of this race so far, and the fact that most people seem to be spread out. He's got back going in 11th place, so Matt Bunn, problems for him there, and he is now outside the top 10. But here comes Ash Sutton again on Rob Hartley. When we get to the line, there'll be 2 laps to go. Sutton looking up the inside, going into Blanchimont, and Rob Hartley might be at a disadvantage here, and Sutton is through into Blanchimont up the inside. So the BSRTC winner back to the lead, Dave.
Yeah, and you saw that one coming for quite a while through that lap there. Ash Sutton just measuring the inch of Robert Hartley there, and not only did he get past him, but he had the top speed to just absolutely fly by without letting Hartley get too much of the slipstream. But Hartley's now back on it, and is he going to make a move coming into turn 1 here?
2 laps to go then here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Intriguing first race here. He's hit the back of Sutton. Oh dear me. Rob Hartley got such a good run on the exit. Sutton's got a lot of rear damage there to his CQR car. Wonder if that's damaged any of the straight line speed on both cars as we head into Eau Rouge Day.
Well, Sutton messed up the exit of that corner. You could hear him slipping through a gear change there, and you know, there was absolutely nowhere Hartley could go. He's got the toe here, he moves to the inside. Surely this is going to be Hartley to take the lead now. It is.
Will Sutton try and respond? He's got to get back into the slipstream, but I think Hartley has the position for now. You can see in the background Chepelevsky and McFadden going side by side. An opportunity for McFadden to get on the podium here. Hartley takes the lead then into Les Combes. Is that the end of Ash Sutton? Surely not. Sutton will still be there right to the very end. Chepelevsky maintains 3rd place, McFadden 4th, Steve Hefford now in 5th, Alexander Lauritsen in 6th, 7th Ashley Beard, 8th Laura Bond ahead of her teammates Kip Stevens in 9th, and Jamie Ayres rounding out the top 10. Then there's Matt Bunn and Lee Deemer and David White having a battle here, and this might allow Dan Hunt and Diogo Melra to get in the mix. Oh, look at Hunt! Whoa, dear me, up the inside of Diogo Melra, and it was very close to contact there. 2 cars trying to work their way back through the field after mistakes on the opening lap. And Kev, I think they're doing a pretty good job of it so far.
Yeah, there's some great battles through the field. I'm just watching this battle for 5th and place. There's a nice train of cars going on, which is going to get very interesting coming the last lap with the slipstream down the back straight.
Yeah, definitely. We've got in this battle that Kev's talking about. We've got Hefford, we've got Lauritsen, we've got Beers, we've got Bonds, we've got Stevens, and we've got Jamie Ayres. Don't rule him out of getting all of these guys on the last lap if something was to happen to them all. But we're about to start the final lap of the race. Ash Sutton hasn't given up yet. 0.3 of a second the gap between him and Robert Hartley. This is where he was able to get the lead a lap ago before that bit of contact at Blanchimont. And he always seems to be getting a good run out of here, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, that is a massive, massive run that Sutton was getting there. And again, he's going to go to the outside, or at least try to. He's going to do an exact carbon copy of the move that he did, but I don't think he's going to get it, is he? He moves on the inside. That pace of that car is unbelievable. Does exactly the same as he did on that last lap, Adam. Coming up to the bus stop here, and that is going to be Sutton into P1 again.
I mean, I didn't think he was going to be able to repeat it, but he did, and Sutton is now leading again as we start the final lap of the race. Hartley gets a good run though on the exit of the bus stop chicane, and this should put him in good stead going into Les Combes at the end of the long back straight. And he's having a little bit of look at the inside, up the inside there into the source as we start the final lap. Sutton gets a much better run on the exit this time, no contact between those two. And now it's all going to be about the slipstream. And Kev, I don't know about you, but I think I'd rather be Robert Hartley in this situation right now.
Yeah, definitely. It puts him in a good advantage to get the slipstream down the straight, but obviously Ash's pace up the back towards the bus stop is, might work in his favour if he can pull off the move for the third time in a row. But obviously Hartley should be more aware of it this time and defend a bit harder.
Dan Hunt's out, and it's through no fault of his. Is it? Yeah, it's through no fault of his own, really. He got. We'll have a look back at it at the end. But Sutton v Hartley, and it's Hartley back to the lead. And that was really expected, really. We've been seeing how good the slipstream is. Look at him taking two wheels onto the curve there, going into Les Combes. Dan Hunt, unfortunate situation, getting T-boned by what looked like an out-of-control Peter Van Gool. We'll clarify what happened for you there at the end of the race. But Rob Hartley back to the lead. Ash Sutton. I think Rob Hartley's got to make sure. I think he's got to make sure, Dave, that he doesn't get Sutton up the inside going into Blanchimont, and then he might be able to have the possibility of taking that win.
Absolutely, Adam. He cannot afford to let Ash get a decent run out of this back half of the circuit here. This is where Ash is gaining the speed, and if he can slow him down at all, surely he's going to be able to hold on, but we'll see here.
We put on for the final time then. This is where Sutton made that small error and had to take to the runoff area. Peter Van Gool and Dan Hunt, both cars back in the pits. Awful first race for Dan Hunt. It looked like there might have been a glimmer of hope for him. But yeah, he is out and back in the pits. Through the Fania chicane for the final time then. Stuart McFadden, by the way, ahead of Sterling Chapalevsky. So looks like we could have McFadden on the podium here. Not too long to go then. Rob Hartley's got to do something to stop Ash Sutton getting a good run out of Stabilo. Maybe just covering the inside line. But once again, the CQR Club car gets such an amazing run now on the exit. Hartley does what I was telling him to do, and that is cover the inside line. Sutton's going to have to now go around the outside of Blanchimont. But don't rule him out of doing that. Here we go. Sutton's got the speed though. Hartley's got the inside line. Who's going to have the position? Sutton round the outside. Hartley go on, force him a bit wide. Oh, he nearly loses the car there. And Sutton's up the inside into the bus stop chicane. It's still not over though, because we've still got to negotiate one of the trickiest parts of the circuit. Sutton goes too deep. And Hartley might be able to set him up on the exit here. Checker flag in the air.
This is going to be close.
Photo finish, and race one. It goes to Ash Sutton by a few hundredths of a second, 54 thousandths of a second. Hartley second. Who's got third though? Was it McFadden? Was it Chapalevsky? It was Stelian Chapalevsky. So sorry, Dave, but looks like the Scots wasn't able to get the podium there just at the very end. Steve Hefford fifth. Alex Lauritsen in 6th, Ashley Beard 7th, Kip Stevens 8th, we're up on 9th, and Jamie Ayres rounding up the top 10. Wow, guys, what a finish!
Absolutely incredible. That wasn't the smash fest that I was expecting it to be. An amazing race throughout the field. Everybody taking part in that should be incredibly proud of that. That was so exciting to watch. What a finish though between Sutton and Hartley. Hartley trying his best, and I thought it was game, set and match when he had that little twitch coming in towards the bus stop there, but Sutton just outbroke himself and allowed Hartley to have that extra chance, and Hartley took it. Unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to get it. What an incredible race though for Chepelevsky and McFadden as well though.
Oh, I was just looking at what happened to Diogo Melro in the final few corners there. He was odds on for a 17th place at least, sorry, 12th place finish at least, but going into the final chicane, missed his braking point, and to make matters worse, he had a bit of contact with Lewis Bibby, which sent the CQR club car around, and he finished, and more contact with David White. He finished in 21st place, not what Diogo Melro wanted there, neither for Dan Hunt, but Kev, I thought Robert Hartley might have done enough, but yeah, that was very close at the end.
Yeah, up that back straight, you've got to pick a lesser of two evils, because you either take the inside line where you're flat, but by putting Osh on the outside, you gave him the inside line for the chicane, which is obviously the big overtaking place with the braking zone. So it was a tough call for him to decide which way to go. Personally, I would have went the other way and held off the inside of the chicane if I could hold off, but it is what it is. I mean, what a close finish. You couldn't really call it, could you?
Ashton then takes the win in the opening race meeting of the day, and Kev, you called it. Ashton taking the win from 4th on the grid. Rob Hartley 2nd on the grid, 2nd overall. But yeah, brilliant race from him. Stalin Chepelevsky managed to get 3rd in the end, however, I'm sure he'll be slightly disheartened by the fact that he started on pole position at the end of qualifying. Stuart McFadden 4th, Steve Heffer 5th, Alex Lauritsen finishing in 6th, Ashley Beard 7th. Kip Stevens managed to get ahead of Laura Bond in the final lap of the race and finished in 9th. In 8th with Laura Bond 9th and Jamie Ayres rounding out the top 10. 11th for Matt Bunn, spun in Puon, was able to get back going again though and finish inside the top 15. Brian Holmes finishing in 12th and 30th on the grid. Big mover there. Lewis Bibby 39th to 13th, he pretty much started on the back row of the grid there. Joe McDonald finishing in 14th, 15th Roy Verke, 16th Alex Malensky, 17th Dave White, 18th for Law Murray, 19th Max Wright and Jason Greenfield rounding out the top 20. Diogo Melro contact in the final corner for the CQR club car there, and he finished in 21st after starting 5th. 22nd for Alan Mitchell. Steve Richardson finishing in 23rd. Colin Robinson 24th. Scott Malcolm 25th. 26th for Foystein Helgeson with Cesare Rizzo in 27th. Lee Deemer 28th. 29th Rob Graham. Lee Barmer 40th to 30th. Peter Van Gool, it was all going on for him there in the final chicane. He was involved with contact with Dan Hunt. He finished in 31st. Simon Landemore in 32nd. Dan Hunt's 1 lap down. And also 1 lap down is Michael Barry. So if we get a full reverse grid, it will be those two that will be on the front row of the grid. Steve Walker 3 laps down. Pete Newman 5 laps down. And the cars that didn't start the race, we had Andreas Katz, Jack McIntyre. We had Dave Christie, and Dave, I've got to say that was a pretty bad race from you. And then Simon Roden finishing in 40th place.
I don't know what you're saying. I still ended up 1 place. That's the performance of the year for me.
Performance, there you go. Gaining a position from not starting the race. Yeah, that is definitely something. We've got the reverse grid to look forward to now. We will get the wheel up for that. Samuli Kumo on the cameras for us, as he always is on a Sunday night. And we will find out who's on the pole position. We could have a fall, but we will see what number gets thrown out here. And what a clean race to start the season. We'll see if we can get the same over the next 3 races. And we await the number from Samuli Kumo. At 24. So 24 falls for Colin Robinson. He's going to go on to pole position, and with Steve Richardson starting 2nd, Alan Mitchell 3rd, Diogo Melro, he's going to be back up there on the 2nd row of the grid, so he'll be happy for that. And Jason Greenfield will be starting in 5th place. So we've got all the makings, Dave, of a pretty good second race.
Yep, it's all to play for, and especially because we see some of the slower cars from the previous races. It's going to be very, very interesting to see these faster ones try and navigate their way through that, because as we saw through that first race, it's incredibly difficult on this track by yourself, never mind under pressure from anybody else. So yeah, it's going to make for a very, very interesting second race. I don't know how it can top race 1.
We'll wait with anticipation to see how it goes. We're going to step aside for a few moments here on Apex Racing TV. Join me, join Dave and join Kev after the break. We'll be getting ready for the second round of the BSR MX-5 Cup Series.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Some festive MX5 racing here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. This is the opening race meeting of the BSR MX5 Cup. And yeah, after a fantastic first race, we're back for two more. We've got our first reverse grid of the day. Adam Bath, Dave Christie, Kev Noon, great to have you with us as always. Now Dave, it is a hotter track temperature. Should that affect things much for these drivers going into the second race of the evening?
Possibly. I mean, it might make a difference to the track speed going up Eau Rouge and coming into La Source, but you know, the car might be a little bit slidier depending on the exact temperature. The MX-5's got quite a high drop-off point before it gets a little bit too greasy and a little bit more difficult to control, but the higher track temperature should see some closer racing hopefully, and a little bit more action.
And Kev, considering we've got the reverse grid now, we're going to be looking at the front for our battle for the lead there. But also we're going to be looking further down the field because, as we saw in race 1, we saw drivers gaining positions like 30 spots during the race. So we can expect the likes of Ash Sutton and the likes to be working their way back through the field again.
Yeah, of course, you can overtake here. So I think the quicker boys who've got that ability to get past and to utilise the slipstream, I think they'll work their way straight back up the field.
It reminds me, they've got a whole load of Christmas viewing for you over the next few weeks here on Apex Racing TV. We've got plenty of MX-5s to keep you happy over the Christmas period. We've got this, of course, we've got the BSRTC Winter Series, which is running in the MX-5. That will be on Thursday nights. We've got the return of the Unified Club and World Series. That'll be coming in the not too distant future, and of course we've got the iRacing Road Pro Series. That'll be getting underway in a few weeks time after the Christmas break for the final run in there, so plenty for you to keep your eyes on here on Apex Racing TV. Hope you're enjoying it here tonight. We certainly enjoyed that first race, and we'll be having the second one coming up in 3 minutes or so. 24 was the number drawn for the second race of the day. Not the biggest reverse grid, Dave, so I can certainly expect we'll be seeing the guys that are finishing at the front in race 1 to be cracking the top 10 by the end of race 2.
Well, it depends. I mean, we did see some of the past sort of position 10 in the last race dropping back quite significantly, and we saw big groups forming. So just because they're at the top 10 just now, I wouldn't expect them to stay that way. I mean, Dan Hunt, though, we know he's got pace. Van Gool definitely wouldn't look past him, but then you've got Sutton and Ches Rizzo, all very, very fast drivers, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see how those that have been swapped down to the back of the field manage to recover through the field, and I think you're going to see some incredible stellar drives today.
And Kev, Dan Hunt, he's going to be starting at the back of the grid now. The man who was fastest in practice, he's going to be starting at the back. He's going to have to work his way back through after the crash he had midway through the race, and that's going to be another factor to throw into this race as well.
Yeah, Dan's incident, obviously he had an incident in the first lap in the last race, obviously the first corner where he was spun and left him lagging miles behind, obviously, so it just proves that you need to be clever about what thinking your way through rather than just trying to be aggressive, because he did try and overtake a lot of people at the beginning, which caused him to get caught up in someone else's incident. Whether he can work his way back through or not, I don't know. It depends on the traffic. You need to get a good little train of cars that you can just zip in and out of using the slipstream to work your way up.
Now, we've all been in the MX-5s. That's how we started our careers in iRacing. Kev, how was it for you in the rookie days in the MX-5?
Incident filled usually. I think when I started iRacing, I was I'd come from playing things like Dirt and things like that where I was quite quick, whereas you just have to forget what you've done before and relearn everything. Now that the last few weeks that I've been racing, my safety rating's gone right up just because I'm picking my moves more sensibly and that kind of stuff. So rookie, once you get out of rookie, iRacing is amazing. But being the experience of rookie really sets you up for how good the simulator is.
Dave, same for you. How was it like? What was it like in the MX-5s?
Well, Adam, even to this day, the MX-5 is still one of my favourite cars, especially the Global Cup that they run on the fixed setups. Just like this, It's such a blank canvas, and it really allows you to hone your skills as a driver, knowing that you're not being beaten because somebody's got a better setup than you, or maybe they understand the setup of the car a little bit better, or anything like that. It comes down to pure driver skill, taking your chances and really keeping the momentum going, because these things are not the fastest to get going as we get ready to grid up.
Yeah, it's definitely a great proving ground, and I think I couldn't have learnt on a harder track. Summit Point Jefferson layout. I was practicing that track for days. Well, let's run you through the grid. Colin Robinson starting on the pole. Steve Richardson second. Third, Alan Mitchell. Fourth, Diogo Melro. Jason Greenfield in fifth. Sixth, Max Wright. Seventh, Law Murray. Eighth, Dave White. Ninth, Alex Smolensky. 10th, Roy Ververke. Joe McDonald 11th. 12th, Lewis Bibby. 13th, Brian Holmes. Matt Bunn in 14th. Jamie Ayres in 15th. 16th, Laura Bond, 17th, Kip Stevens, 18th, Ashley Beard, 19th, Steve Hefford, and 20th, Stuart McFadden, 21st, Stelin Chepelevsky, 22nd, Rob Hartley, 23rd, our race 1 winner, Ash Sutton. Some notables: Dan Hunt will be starting in 31st, Peter Van Gool starting in 30th. Only 34 cars for this second race of the evening. Apparently Dave Christie is out of the race due to prior engagements, but we'll find out more about that later on, as here we go, lights are on, second race of the day. Green lights on and we're away. Robinson on the inside then. We'll see what Steve Richardson can do on the outside. Will he be able to gain that spot into the source? He's got the outside line and possibly the racing line, but Robinson breaks later and has the lead.
Big crash going down the straight.
Big crash.
And that's Thorsten Helgeson that's been taken out there, and it looks like, I'm trying to see who that is that's beside him.
It was it one of the Automech cars?
Michael Barry, I think it was, number 12.
Scott Malcolm also involved as well. So let's we're heading up Eau Rouge, and Dave, talk us through it.
Yeah, so the car's coming through Eau Rouge, and it sounds like there's big contact behind as Alan Mitchell smashes into the back of Steve J. Richardson, but it looks like they've all managed to survive through Eau Rouge intact. But look at this, an absolute melee of cars, some of them 3 wide, coming down the corner here, and they're going to brake hard, and this is going to be absolutely dramatic. 4 wide.
4 wide in places. Diogo Camaro up into second place. Oh, I hear sliding all over the place here. And look at this, we've got Automech cars, we've got CQR Club cars going this way, and that's going through the top of the hill at Les Combes. And everyone's able to get through that chicane safely. Melro now going for the lead. That didn't take long at all. He's up the inside of Colin Robinson. And just when we were saying that he'd taken second place, Kev, he's now to the lead.
Yeah, but we've all seen what being in the lead does. It's tough to stay there, isn't it?
Yeah, Brian Hartley. Ask him that. Robert Hartley, and he wasn't able to get anything done there. Who's that on the grass? That is Alex Smolensky holding off Jason Greenfield. Car around in the background. It's one of the white MX-5s. Scrolling back through to see who it is. It is Ashley Beard, who'd made a respectable start in qualifying, but now he's at the back of the grid. 2 cars out as we saw at the start line. Scott Malcolm and Forstein Helgeson. Also, Cesaro Rizzo tumbling down the order as well. He was in 26th place in Puon Day.
Yeah, that's right, and I'm just seeing here Alexander Smolensky, who's bigging him up on the qualifying as he comes into contact and into the wall. Smolensky, big contact on the right hand side there, and I didn't even get a chance to curse him. Oh, and he's hit Sutton as well.
Oh, what's Alex Smolensky up to here? There was another car in the wall with him when they made contact. Couldn't see who it was, but yeah, Alex Smolensky in issues there. Where is he now? He is in 14th place. And he's just trying to get back into some form of position here. He's got Steve Hefford getting by. He's also got Stelin Chepelevsky going into Blanchimont. Chepelevsky up the inside there, who have had a respectable finish in race 1. He got a podium, of course, and now we're heading into the bus stop chicane. So much action here in the opening lap of race 2. Matt Bunn up the inside of Dave White. Also up the inside of him is Lewis Bibby, so Bibby gaining positions there. Matt Bunn up 10 spots since the start of the race. Lewis Bibby is back. I thought he'd gone then for a brief moment. But across the line we go. Melro leading Robinson, then Mitchell, then Bunn, Bibby, White, Ververke, Greenfield, Sutton at 14 spots, and he could be going for more up the inside into the source. Oh, that could be a bit interesting. 3-1 on the exit. That's not gone at all well. And Sutton getting launched into the air just a little bit, coming back down on all fours, and this has just bunched things up even more, Kev. Oh. Yeah,
this looks like it's going to get very insane. But that's what I said before about picking your moves and being sensible about where you're trying to overtake.
All
dear.
hell has broken loose on the entry to Eau Rouge there, and it is an absolute bottleneck. And there we go, number 27, that is spinning out there. That's Steve Hefford, causing
dear.
a massive pile-up.
Secondary crash here on the exit of Eau Rouge, and there's cars facing the oncoming traffic. Quite a few cars involved there. We've got Laura Bond, Steve Hefford. We've got an Automech car as well, so 2 Automech cars involved in issues. That's Steve Walker. Oh dear me, what happened in that second incident at the top of Eau Rouge? It was definitely interesting there.
Well, all I caught was Steve Hefford losing it at the top of Eau Rouge there. He lost it, went sideways into the wall, came back onto the track, and then all the cars just went piling straight into him. Of course, coming up Eau Rouge, the incline on it, Adam, it's unsighted. You cannot see what's at the top of that hill until you're flat out. You're already committed.
Yeah, Steve's just ran a bit too much curb at the top, and it's just unsettled the cars. He's gone over the top of the hill.
Very easy to do. We saw cars in the Blancpain Endurance Series doing that and causing some huge incidents a few years ago. We'll see what that order's like now. I can tell you the cars that are in the pits. We've got Dan Hunt, we've got Peter Van Gool, Forstein Helgeson, Stuart McFadden, Laura Bonds, Jamie Ayres, Joe McDonald, and Alex Malensky. His upper position goes Ash Sutton, getting past Stedin Chepelevsky. That minor error at turn 1, which led to all of that incident there, has still kept Ash Sutton in this race, and he's up another position, up 16 spots. He's up to 7th place. Next up is that Liverpool liveried car of Brian Holmes.
I tell you, somebody else who's laughing just now, Adam, is number 40 car of Matthew Bunn, started 14th place, and he's already up to 2nd.
Yeah, and how far is he away from the leader there? That is the big question. Melrose already pulling quite a bit of a gap up at the front, 5.7 seconds in fact to Matt Bunn. And Matt Bunn's got other issues to worry about. He's got Lewis Bibby here trying to get past him in that Simpson liveried car, and Alan Mitchell now going to the outside. This might allow Colin Robinson, the pole sitter, to also get in the mix as well. Matt Bunn holding on. Ash Sutton under pressure. He's got past Brian Holmes. So was Stedin Chepelevsky, and he is through there. So Chepelevsky through and up into 7th. Sutton through into 6th. Lewis Bibby has he's gone again, but he's back. Some intermittent connection issues there for Lewis Bibby. And at the back of this train with Chepelevsky and Brian Holmes is Max Wright. So you could say that Brian Holmes won't be walking alone when it comes to slipstreaming in a few moments as we go up Eau Rouge onto lap 3. Well, Steve Richardson's tumbling down the order. Don't know what happened there to Steve Richardson. But he lost it in what looks like the bus stop chicane.
I think he just spun round. I caught the tail end of a car spinning, but I couldn't make out which one it was, so it was probably him.
I got a little bit of a tap from Michael Barry there. And that's just given Barry even more damage. But yeah, issues for Steve Richardson. Matt Bunn continuing to hold off Lewis Bibby. Well, in all this excitement, we've got just 3.5 laps to go here in race 2, so plenty of action here, and only one car's been able to set a padded lap time. Shows you all the excitement that's been going on, and that was Colin Robinson with a 2:54.4. So everyone using the incident limits to their advantage, and they can really, because 20 incidents, that's plenty of off tracks that you can do.
Yeah, and the man on the move at the moment, Ashley Sutton, started 23rd on the grid, is now in 6th place, and he's right on the tail of Colin Robinson. In fact, no, that's Chepelevsky that he's on the tail of, right in front of him. That's the battle for 5th and 6th place at the moment.
Ash must have made a mistake somewhere, because he was ahead of Chepelevsky by quite a distance, so he must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, Ash Sutton is scrolling back through the replay. It was just a slipstream down the pack straight, it looks like, Kev. So we're highlighting the slipstream there once again, and Ash Sutton has got to do the work again. He did that plenty of times though in race 1, having to get past Rob Hartley, the race 1 winner, and he might be able to get it done on this lap to get past Stedin Chepelevsky, because Kev, as we see again, he's always so good on the exit of Stavler going into Blancpain.
Yeah.
When we get to London, there'll be 3 laps to go. Apex Racing versus EQR Club. It's something you will be expecting to see next season in the BSR TC Pro Series. In the Kia, of course. Don't rule out Brian Holmes here. He's definitely mixing it in with the guys that we always see at the front in the BSRTC. Sutton doesn't know which way to go here. Chepelevsky positioning his car well going into the bus stop chicane. And as we come out of the final chicane to start lap 4 of the race, Sutton's got a good run here, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. I'm also watching the battle for second and third place because Lewis Bibby is absolutely harassing, there's no other word for it, harassing Matthew Bunn right now. He is almost glued to the tail of that car, and I wonder if he's just biding his time. He's just wanting to make sure that Matthew knows he's in his mirrors, he knows how fast he is, and a little bit of psychological mind games going on right now.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for Matt Bunn, of course, because Lewis Bibby's car does seem to be blinking just a little bit. Gets a good run through Eau Rouge, and Matt Bunn hasn't got the best run in the world at all, as Lewis Bibby is now cutting to the outside. This could be position gain number 10. Oh, smoke!
Colin Robinson. Colin Robinson has just lost it at the top of Eau Rouge there, Adam.
Similar to Steve Hefford. Fortunately, he's able to stop the car in, but I think he's got quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah, it looks like as we see the train of Chepelevsky, Sutton and Holmes almost neck and neck as they come round. There's around about sort of 0.5 of a second split in the 3 cars there. That's absolutely incredible. And moving back up to Bunn, who's lost the place from Bibby, moves on the inside there, takes the place back from Bibby, and this is going heel to toe all the way through.
Matt Bunn takes a position back. That didn't last long at all there. Lewis Bibby in second place. The positions now. Alan Mitchell's in 4th. Stalin Chepelevsky and Ash Sutton losing positions there. And yeah, Alan Mitchell on his way. And then it's Brian Holmes. And then Max Wright, Dave White now in 9th. And then 10th is Ashley Beard. Simon Roden might be in issues as I try to find him on the screen. He's back in the pits. Oh, he had a bit of crash with someone going into Les Combes, and it looked pretty close. Behind him he had Lee Deemer. Oh, gets up the inside, and they both get together, and they both go into the wall, and yeah, that looks a bit amateur hour there at Les Combes.
And it looks like Alan Mitchell is falling at the grasp of Chepelevsky right now, because he's fallen behind Chepelevsky, and it looks like Sutton's going to try and make a move on as well, but Mitchell holding to the back of Chepelevsky, and indeed going to the inside there. Can he make the move stick? He does. They're going to come towards the tail end of the course here, coming up towards the bus stop any moment now, and there's contact!
Oh, and into the wall they both go, and up and over goes Alan Mitchell. Stalin Chepelevsky is able to get back going, but Mitchell over and over. He lands on all 4s, and he's got the car going again. But that is not what Stalin Chepelevsky wanted in that Apex Racing car at all, Kev.
No, I think that was just a case of not enough room given. I think he was expecting Alan to run a little bit wider than what he thought he did, and they just caught the back end of him and off they went.
Well, they're both going into the pit, so that's 2 more cars to add to the scrap heap here. Side by side, Bibby is back through on Matt Bunn. So we'll see if Matt Bunn is able to use the slipstream this time over the top of the hill at Eau Rouge and get the position back. You can see Bibby blinking in and out just a little bit there. Now through Eau Rouge, over the top of the hill, and Matt Bunn's got a pretty good run here, Dave.
Yeah, that's right, and as you pointed out throughout the race, that is going to be a visibility issue for Matt Bunn, but they're side by side here, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see who comes out on top, because Bibby is managing to get that place early on going into Eau Rouge, and he loses it within sort of maybe turn 6 or turn 7, and then has to fight for the rest of the lap to get the position back.
And Brian Holmes getting past Ash Sutton. So Sutton down a place there to 5th place. Sutton has still gained 18 spots during the race. One of the biggest movers, I think, is Steve Walker, up 19 spots for him. So fantastic second race there for Steve Walker after not having the best opening race of the day. Have I just commentator cursed him? I think I might have done, actually. He's back in the pits. Well, there we go. That is me right there. And I think I'll be quickly hot fussing out the commentary box before he can get to me. I'm just going to try and find out what happened to him.
So while that happens, Ash Sutton is all over the back of Brian Holmes at the moment. Brian taking a slightly wide line going back out there, and this is where Ash seems to strike every single time as they come up towards the tail end of the course. They'll be hitting the bus stop any time, and that seems to be Ash's preferred point of attack. So it's just all about whether or not he can get this run going towards it. It looks like they can.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to see then. We're about to start the final lap of the race. Ash Sutton versus Brian Holmes. In the previous race it was Sutton v Hartley. Now we're going to see what Brian Holmes can do to try and hold off the CQR Club car of Ash Sutton. Brian Holmes positioning the car well here. Sutton, is he going to go to the inside? No, he isn't yet. Brian Holmes just really taking the racing line, and that's what he can do. And Sutton isn't able to get past at all yet. Going into Blanchemont. Steve Walker, by the way, lost on the exit of Eau Rouge. Similar style to Kevin Magnussen, actually, in the Grand Prix earlier in the year. Brian Holmes braking later than Ash Sutton, incidentally, making the corner as well. So Brian Holmes proving to be quite a good driver here in the second race. Oh no, and that isn't. And into the wall he goes, and that's commentator curse number 2 in the race.
Wow.
I was about to just say that I think Ash is carrying a bit of damage, and that's why he's not quite as quick in a straight line, but he's past him now.
Definitely the bump and run, the Alex Simpson smash and grab, whatever you want to call it. Ash Sutton is through into 4th place. In fact, I think he's gone as well.
I think he's into the pits, yeah. He's dropping down the order anyway, and that could be Ash Sutton's race done as well.
I think that's a disqualification. It is a disqualification.
Yeah,
so
it is, yeah, he's gone.
We were saying about how the 20 incidents is quite a bit, but yeah, Sutton using the chrome horn, as they say, a bit too much there, and that is the end of Ash Sutton. So Sutton out as well. Probably a little bit of karma there.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've seen Ash through his career in the touring cars. We've seen him in different classes here at BSR. And one thing that comes is that he's an incredibly... he's got an incredible presence. He will make himself known. He's very physical. I wouldn't say he's overly aggressive, make that point very clear, but he does make himself known. He will not back out of a fight, and unfortunately in these situations maybe gets the better of him.
And unfortunately for Ash, that is the end of his race. Also the same for Brian Holmes as well. Holmes having a fantastic race there, racing it with a BTCC race winner. Final lap of the race then, Diogo Melro leads by Lewis Bibby by 8 seconds. Matt Bunn in 3rd, trying to hold off Matt Bunn. That is one battle to watch out for towards the end. Lee Deemer is a lap down. Max Wright is then the next car in 4th. David White in 5th. Due to all the carnage that we've had in this race, you can see how much the pack is spread up. Roy Ververke and Jason Greenfield pretty close together as well. This is for a spot inside. This is over 8th and 9th. And Stalin Shepalevsky was able to serve his pit stop and get back going again, and still remain inside the top 10. That shows you the amount of gaps that we've got between all the cars here, Kev.
Yeah, definitely that fast repair. Definitely when he pulled it in the pits, it made sense for him to keep going. Just how spread out the field is, just to get back into that reverse grid, so you're near the front later on.
That burn up the inside, then into Blanchemont. That could be a second place for him there, and into the final corner we go. And it looks like it's going to be his first win of the season for Diogo Melro. His teammate Ash Sutton won in race 1, and he takes a checkered flag in race 2. But who's going to get second place? It looks like it's going to be Matt Bunn. He does get it out of the final corner, and it's going to be a CQR 1-2, a CQR Club victory for Melro there, and Matt Bunn backing it up there with a 1-2 with Lewis Bibby in 3rd place. Max Wright just coming through the bus stop chicane now with what looks like to be a nailed on 4th for him. Dave White along the way there, he's going to get 5th, Ashley Beard in 6th. Ververke versus Jason Greenfield though, Dave, and here comes Shepalevsky. This could be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a photo finish. It's got to be. I mean, Shepalevsky side by side now with Jason Greenfield, and I think Jason Greenfield is going to possibly take it. He's got the number 29 of Roy Ververke, and he's compromised his exit there, but Shepalevsky stalls it and squirms about as the cars try to get traction there. It's a fight to the line. Who's going to take it? I think it's just going to be Shepalevsky.
It was Shepelevsky by 12 thousandths of a second for the second race in a row there. The Apex Racing car getting involved in a photo finish at the very end. Rob Graham is about to come across the line. Yes, he does now. Rob Hartley getting 12th place in the end. And side by side there across the line, that was Kip Stevens and Alan Mitchell. And Stevens just finishing behind by just over 100th of a second there. Not too many cars left to come across the line, really. We've got Alex Smolensky on his way to the bus stop chicane now. That is Jamie Ayres bearing down on him. And the BSRTC race winner should get the place there.
Yeah, given the carnage that happened at the top of Eau Rouge earlier on in the race, Steve Hefford getting 7th place. How did that happen?
With all that carnage that ensued in his wake, Steve Hefford's able to get a top 10 finish as Stuart McFadden comes across the line in plumes of smoke. A typical banger racing style there. McFadden comes across the line with the whole of that Mazda MX-5's innards on show there.
Yeah, what's left of that MX-5? There really wasn't too much left on Stuart McFadden's car there. We mentioned on it on race 1, Adam, it's a real race of attrition. These reverse grids put some of the slower drivers towards the front. I mean, the faster ones try and get past, and do you know what? The guys at the front have got every right to hold their line, and it just shows the frustration builds up and all hell breaks loose.
Let's run you through the finishing order then from what was an absolutely crazy second race here at Spa. What's race 3 going to throw up? Diogo Melro takes the win, then making it 2 out of 2 for CQR. Matt Bunn finishing second, just ahead of Lewis Bibby. Good fight between those two, and Max Wright finishing in 4th. 5th for David White, 6th for Ashley Beard, 7th Steve Hefford, despite spinning at the top of Eau Rouge and causing a huge pile-up behind. Roy Verke finishing in 8th, Sterling Shepelevsky up 12 positions despite making a pit stop during the race. Jason Greenfield finishing in 10th, 11th for Lee Barmer, over a minute behind. 12th Rob Hartley, the runner-up in race 1, 13th for Rob Graham, 14th Alan Mitchell, 15th Kip Stevens, 16th for Steve Richardson, then back to Alex Smolensky in 17th, who was a minute and 41 seconds behind. Jamie Ayres wasn't too far away from him either in 18th. Stuart McFadden finishing in 19th there. He gained a position even though he was coming across the line in plumes of smoke. Lauren Murray finishing in 20th. 21st Laura Bond. 22nd Scott Malcolm. 23rd Peter Van Gool. Simon Roden in 24th place. And then the cars 1 lap down or more. Michael Barry 1 lap down. Brian Holmes a lap down as well. Cesare Rizzo a lap down along with Steve Walker. Colin Robinson a lap down. Lee Deemer also 1 lap down. Ash Sutton with that disqualification 2 laps down. Joe McDonald 4 laps down. Dan Hunt 5 laps down along with Forstein Helgerson. And what we've seen there, Kev, is that even though the many cars were involved in those pile-ups, they were able to get back to the pits, get that fast repair, and many of them still managed to finish, if not on the lead lap, just 1 lap down.
Yeah, I think it just shows some of the more experienced people who understand the fact that there is a fast repair, and if you can get it back to the pits, you get it back to the pits and you get back going. I think just with the results, it just shows you how much carnage those reverse grids show up. Because I mean, in the first race, the top 10 was covered by 16 seconds, whereas now it's 55 seconds after all the carnage that took place on the first lap.
The cars that started inside the top 10 that finished there, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have met some there, but now we're going to set our sights forward to the final race of the evening, race 3. Another reverse grid, of course. Samuli Kumo will get the wheel up, and we will find out who's going to be on pole position for race 3 of the BSR MX5 Cup Series. Hopefully it's at full, because that could mean even more craziness. And we definitely had a very exciting second race. We do have 4 slots. It's 26, and that will go to Brian Holmes. So the man that was hit out by Ash Sutton there in race 2 is going to get onto pole position with Michael Barry in 2nd, Simon Roden 3rd, Peter Van Gool will now be at the front in 4th, and Scott Malcolm will be starting in 5th place. We've got all the makings of a fantastic final race, so why not stick around and join me, Azim Bath, Dave Christie and Kev Noon for the final race of the evening. Join us in a few moments here on Apex Racing TV, where we'll be getting the final race underway.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Two very crazy races in the opening race meeting of the BSR MX5 Cup Series, and we've still got one more to go. Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Adam Bath, Dave, Christie, Kev Noon, along with you all. And yeah, we're very interested to see what's going to happen in this final race of the day. 26 cars are reversed, and the fast guys are definitely going to be starting at the back now, and they're going to have their work cut out working their way to the front. Well, Dave, race 2, it had all the action that we were predicting, and now we've got the reverse grid to do all over again, and now we're in the late afternoon conditions as well, so we've definitely got all the makings of another crazy race here at Spa.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, race 2 was crazy enough, but what I'm most looking forward to, Adam, is your commentator's cars taking quite a few more cars out, because it was like every time we'd cut to a car and speak about them, that's it, they're gone. So it just shows you how difficult this circuit is, and as soon as you see sort of any action, it's already too close between them. So it's going to be a fantastic race 3. We've got the crash helmets here in the commentary box already, keep us safe for the melee that's about to happen.
Yeah, I think basically anyone that doesn't want to get commentators cursed, just try and have the most ordinary race possible, and then hopefully nothing bad will go your way. Well, Kev, it's been a fantastic start to the season. For the two CQR guys, we had Ash Sutton winning the race, the opening race in race 1, and Diogo Maro backing that up in race 2. They're having a good start.
Yeah, definitely seem to be right on the bottom of the pace. Unfortunately, they've both been caught up in incidents in the races that they haven't won. But I mean, it's just been such a crazy night so far. Obviously, race 1 we had such a relatively clean race, but with some absolutely awesome racing. But then race 2 has been a bit of a nightmare for some of the quick guys, getting caught up in some incidents. You know, when overtaking some relatively inexperienced drivers. So we're going to have that again in this race, because you know there's Ash and Dan. They're right at the back, so it's just going to be a case of who can work their way through back to the front to win the third race.
And you were saying during commercial break that Ash Sutton, if he hadn't had that bit of contact in the source early in the race, he probably could have ended up going on to win.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think he could have. He was definitely on for a podium if he'd not had that incident at the hairpin. It just left him with no one to slipstream. Getting caught in that incident, so he just started to go back into the pack rather than going forward. Because I mean, you know, you see people going up the back straight, slipstreaming each other, overtaking, but you're just constantly gaining time because you're running that much higher speed.
Definitely, yeah. And Sutton after that was involved with Brian Holmes, who's going to be on a pole position for the final race of the day. And yeah, he'll be definitely going to go all out and see if he can actually get that victory that was denied by 50-50 Ash Sutton and by me. Commentator cursing him on the exit of the bus stop chicane. We haven't got too long to wait before we head down to the grid. The warm-ups in its final few seconds now, 30 seconds before the checkered flag is out there, and we'll be going down to the grid for the start of the final race. We've got another 30+ car field here. We've seen some pretty exciting racing here at Spa today. Lots of slipstreaming going on. And yeah, from all of us Apex Racing TV, hope you're enjoying your holidays. Christmas is not too far away now. And I hope you're enjoying this coverage and what has been a pretty exciting race so far.
So gentlemen, with them just about to start gridding up, who are we thinking for race 3 then?
Brian Holmes looked good in race 2, I must admit, as Sutton goes around, but everyone's going to be clumped back together again. So just looking at the grid now, I'll probably put my money, looking on the grid, on... I might throw in Alex Smolensky there, starting 10th. We'll see how far he can go. What about you, Kev?
I was going to go for the same one, but I think I'll go for someone different. You know, there's a few in there. There's Jamie Ayres, who's quite quick. Stuart McFadden has shown that he's been quite quick. I mean, even Laura Bond on a day can be quite quick, so there's several drivers in there that can definitely pull it off.
I'll take that. Is it too close to call? Perhaps?
That's just me sitting on the fence side.
Okay, well, there we go. We've had it all. 20 seconds or so before we get the race underway. We'll run you through the top 10 quickly. Brian Holmes is on pole, Michael Barry in second, Simon Rose in third, Van Gool fourth, Scott Malcolm in fifth, Laura Bond sixth, Laura Murray seventh, Stuart McFadden in eighth, Jamie Ayres in ninth, and Alex Smolensky in 10th. Here we go then. Another 6-lap race here at Spa. Who's going to take the checkered flag in race 3? 23 degrees track temperature. And now the revs rise. And the lights are on. And the green and we're away. Brian Holmes gets away well, but who's going to take second place? Who's going to lead actually going into the first corner? What a jump by Brian Holmes. It looks like he's leaving everyone else to fight over the other positions. Second place is now Peter van Gool, so fantastic start there from Van Gool. And now everyone else is going this way and that.
Yep, everyone survives first corner as they come down towards Eau Rouge then.
Brian Holmes with a fantastic jump. Yeah, it looks like the battle's going to be over second place. Peter van Gool trying to hold off Michael Barry, going for a Rouge car, slipping and sliding their way through. Simon Roden getting past the Automatic car, losing a few positions actually to Stu McFadden and Scott Malcolm.
Contact, it's all gone wrong.
And I can hear it, and yeah, we've got a few cars involved. It is Max Wright, Forstein Helgeson and Dave White as well, so 3 cars already in strife. As we come up to Lake Com, 3 wide, we've got Simon Roden in the mix here, we've got Law Murray, we've got Rob Hartley as well, the race 1 runner-up, and they all sort each other out eventually, but this is very close quarter racing here in the early going. Stelin Chapelewski up the inside of Rob Graham, as well as the car 36, that is, I think, car 36, that is Laura Bond, I think. Yep, Kip Stevens in the mix as well there. Chapelewski up the inside of Laura Bond. And that is Chapelewski up to 13th place, so that is a gain of 5 spots for him in the early going. Laura Bond losing another position to a teammate as well. So Dave, a whole load of action already.
Yeah, and I'm watching it right at the back of the grids here, but also towards the front. Stuart McFadden having an amazing start here. He is up to, I believe, is that 3rd or 4th position? I can't quite make that out just now, but he's certainly leading a pack of around about 7 cars through the later stages of Spa here, and any moment now they'll be coming up to the bus stop chicane. Yeah,
McFadden side by side with a certain Alex Smolensky. In fact, no, that is Scott Malcolm side by side with Alex Smolensky. So Stuart McFadden already ahead of these guys. Around the outside goes Smolensky, contact made, and around they both go and into the wall. Smolensky certainly puts pay to Scott Malcolm's race. The car's broken completely there on Scott Malcolm's car, and there you go. It was my pick to win the race, and the commentators go strike straight away. Sorry, Alex Smolensky, but out the race you go. We've got another car going slowly, cars scattering in all directions. That is
there's
Michael
contact
Barry.
there, huge contact there, and I think that is number 16 of Hartley going off.
Oh, so the race 1 runner-up involved in issues. Alan Mitchell also around, and just as we were about to show that crash, we saw Michael Barry going slow. He was 2nd on the grids, don't forget. So Michael Barry already in issues. Round to complete the first lap. Brian Holmes leads. Michael Barry is all over the place. 2nd is Peter van Gool, but look at this. Simon Roden under pressure from Matt Bunn going through the final chicane. More positions getting exchanged here. Numerous cars heading into the pits. With substantial amounts of damage. Sutton up 25 places.
Yep, that's exactly what was just the way to draw your attention to. Start 31st on the grid, up to 6th in 1 lap. That is an absolutely astonishing run from Ashley Sutton there. Incredible stuff.
That's definitely something that will have to go up on the Facebook the Facebook page afterwards, and on board of Ash Sutton's first lap. That is quite remarkable. Started 31st on the grid, up to 6th. The only other driver that's gained anywhere near as many spots is Dan Hunt. We've lost Chapelewski possibly. No, he's still there, just blinks for a little moment and he's back. He's trying to get past Steve Hefford as we go up the Kemmel Straight. Oh, crash in the background. We've got a car off. It's another Automatic car. Oh, Simon Roden, so another Automatic car. We've got Graham in the pits. We've got Malcolm in the pits, so we might as well just cap it off and throw Simon Roden in there as well. It's definitely not going well for them at all, Kev.
No, there's lots of little silly incidents happening. People trying to overtake on the outside, and trying to win the race on the first lap. But I can't believe how far Ash has got up the field. He's just in another league when it comes to overtaking.
Well, Sutton now up to 6th place. He's got 2 cars in front of him who are already battling away. This is Law Murray versus Jamie Ayres. This is over 4th and 5th. There's a bit of a gap to Stuart McFadden. Sutton is 10 seconds away from the race lead, so it might not be a second race win in 3 races for him, but he could get a possible certain fourth place and possibly even a podium if he's able to close in the gap to Stuart McFadden. And Dave, look at the gap he's already closed in already. He's right on the back of Lorne Murray, and he's going for it.
Yep, there he goes round the inside then of Lorne Murray, and he's going to set up Jamie Ayres. I wouldn't be at all surprised, Adam, if he's going to make it up to fourth place by the end of this lap. This right here, for everyone that's watching, this is pure driving skill. This is all this is, pure driving talent. These cars are all exactly the same. This guy is absolutely unreal.
Definitely. And yeah, Ash Sutton here, BTCC race winner. We might have had a crash. I can't work out because there's quite a few cars disappearing on my timing screen. But Sutton up the inside of Jamie Ayres, and he is through into fourth place. That didn't take any time at all, did it? And in the background, Stelin Chapelevsky and Steve Hefford going at it. Hefford, who was involved in issues at Eau Rouge, but Jamie Ayres not giving up just yet. He's going to the outside, going into the bus stop chicane. And Lorne Murray might try and fancy his chances up the inside there as well. But as we come around to complete lap 2, Brian Holmes leads Van Goor by 2.6 seconds. Then it's McFadden, and then 4 seconds behind him it is Ash Sutton, who comes across the line and does a time of 2:47, and it's definitely the quickest out of anyone inside the top 5 at the end of lap 2. McFadden not too far away from Van Goor either. And at the end of lap 2, cars in the pits, we've got Simon Roden and Lewis Bibby back in the pits as well. So many cars that did pit at the end of the first lap, they've been able to get their fast repair and get back going again. But Kev, we've got 4 cars here going over the top of the hill at Eau Rouge, and with the slipstream the way it is, we could expect to see quite a bit entertaining here going into Les Combes.
It could do, but given the fact we're so early in the race, they need to just work together and just rein in the top 3, and I think it'll just turn into a nice little 8 of cars towards the end.
Yeah, definitely. This could be shades of the Tour de France. Stelin Chapelevsky trying to get up the inside of Jamie Ayres, going into Les Combes at the top of the hill. But Jamie Ayres is good on the brakes. Sutton trying to make a break for it here in the early going. Look at the cutback there that Chapelevsky gets on the exit of the chicane through Malmedy here. And to Rivage, the corner at the bottom of the hill, and then into the corner with no name. Chapelevsky up the inside, but you can see Jamie Ayres confident in his braking ability and confident enough to move across and stop that Apex car getting by.
It looks like Stuart McFadden now catching on the back of Peter Van Gool there. I'm not sure if Peter had an issue there, as we see Ashley Sutton going wide. And it's exactly what Kev was saying there. They should have played it smart. They still had the slipstream from Ash Sutton as they came into Les Combes there, but they didn't. They were too busy fighting each other, and Ash is away now.
Yeah, definitely. And look at the gap he's already pulled. A few seconds there already. Here comes Steve Hefford. He's trying to get past with Stelin Chapelevsky on Jamie Ayres. Round the outside goes Stelin Chapelevsky into the Fania chicane, which will quickly become the inside. Steve Hefford not trying to work out which way to go here. Look at Ayres. Look at that. Round the outside all over the grass creek there on the exit, and he's going to throw it back up the inside. Fantastic job here, and taking a hold of the curb as well. Very close to contact with the Apex Racing UK car, and all this is allowing Lorne Murray to get back into the action as well. Chapelevsky's through. Now it's the turn of Steve Hefford going into Blanchimont-Quet.
Yeah, it's a good little battle. But going back to what I said earlier, if they'd just stayed in the line, they would have been up the road with Ash by now. They just need to, think about the racing, because they need to close back up.
We get to the halfway distance when we get to the line. Effort trying to go around the outside of Blanchimont, not able to get it done. He might be able to throw it up the inside going into the final chicane.
Huge move up on the inside from Stuart McFadden. Takes second place from Peter Van Gool. Second place for Stuart McFadden. But look at Ashley Sutton. He is like a shark in the background. He is reeling in his prey right now, and he's going to strike at any moment.
The delight for Stuart McFadden. He's up into the runners-up spot at the moment. Up to second place, Sutton trying to close him down with every single chance he gets. Up the inside goes Hefford on Jamie Ayres into the source at the start of lap 4, and that should be the position there for Hefford. Jamie Ayres will try and hold on to it, but it looks like it is it is now sixth place for Steve Hefford. So they've both been able to get by Chapelevsky and Hefford. Don't rule out Peter Van Gool though. He's back in the slipstream of Stuart McFadden, going down the Kemmel straight towards Les Combes on lap 4 of the race. When we get to the line, there'll be 2 laps to go. And as Kev has been saying throughout this race, if you start squabbling, this is going to allow Sutton and the likes to close in. And Van Gool is back up the inside. Round the outside goes McFadden, and that's going to become the inside for the second part of Lake Common. Peter van Gool giving him plenty of room there, Dave.
Yeah, brave move by the young McFadden there, back into second place, and it does look like the gap towards the leader, Brian Holmes, is actually coming down a little bit there. It was at the start of the lap 4 seconds. I think that's down to what, maybe 3 seconds now?
Yeah, it is, and just an update on this lap, Matt Bunn got disqualified. He hit that 20 incident limit, and that is the end of his race. Quite surprised, I didn't expect to see many drivers hitting that incident limit in this race, but it shows you the action that we've got in this third and final race in the Mazda MX-5s here at Spa. Where is Sutton? Let's just run you through the lap times. Brian Holmes last time round leading 2:48.7, 2:48.5 for McFadden, 2:50.8 for Peter van Gool, 2:47.7 for Ash Sutton. So Sutton a second quicker than Brian Holmes, but even at that speed I don't think he's going to have enough to close up to Brian Holmes to take the win. He might have enough to join this squabble when we get to the line with 2 laps to go. Ashley Beard and Lorne Murray about to have a battle here. This is over 9th and 10th. Ashley Beard up 12 positions. Dan Hunt as well. He started at the back of the grid. He's up 26 positions as well. So the 2 guys that started at the back, they wasted no time at all getting their way to the front. I personally couldn't see them getting as far forward as they have done. But yeah, Ash Sutton and Dan Hunt, fantastic jobs throughout the race so far.
Yeah, this race is a bit more sensible, I think. There's been less carnage, so I think it's been a bit easier for them to just work their way through and just pick off one at a time. I mean, Dan's just as experienced as what Ash is, so they're both very competent at overtaking and picking their moves, and they're both hugely good under the brakes, which is where you do all your overtaking around here.
Another disqualification on this lap. Cesare Rizzo has hit that 20 incident limit, and he is out of the race. Sutton is he is 1.7 seconds behind Peter van Gool. And oh, that's McFadden! He's sideways, he rescues the car, but this is almost certainly going to hand that 3rd place to Ash Sutton on a plate here. The speed differential is so big, and the CQR Club car just goes by. Thank you very much. And Sutton's through into 3rd place, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. It's an uncharacteristic mistake from McFadden there, but he's in the slipstream of Ashley Sutton there, and we know Ash is going to catch up very quickly to Van Gool, so don't rule him out of the running just yet. But so unfortunate for McFadden there, just a real slip up there, and it goes back to what I've said time and time again here. It's incredibly difficult on your own to get round this circuit as it is without any pressure from anybody else.
3 wide there, Dan Hunt versus Steve Hefford versus Stalin Chepelevsky, and that's Hunt now through into 5th place. But Hefford might be under pressure here from Chepelevsky. Chepelevsky trying to go back round the outside of Malmedy, and now towards the Rivage. And that might be Chepelevsky back up into... Oh no, guys, be careful here. And Chepelevsky is back through. I thought that was going to be curtains for Dan Hunt then at one point, but Hunt remains in 5th place. 28 positions gained for him, the same amount for Ash Sutton as well. But Sutton's through, past Van Gool, up the inside into Pouon. And car 13, unlucky for some, but definitely proving lucky for Ash Sutton in this 3rd and final race. He is now up into the runners-up spot. Kev.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the lap times. I mean, if you look at Ash, he's in the 2:47. Although he's just doing it sideways going through there, he's having a bit of a moment. Dan's in the same.
Peter van Gool just losing it there, sorry about that. Peter van Gool just lost it, and McFadden's just taking the place again. Sorry, Kev, you were saying?
No, just the difference in lap times. I mean, everyone else is in the 2:48s, 2:49s, whereas Ash and Dan are right up there with the 2:47s, even without slipstreams.
Position gain number 29 for Ash Sutton. Chepelevsky and Dan Hunt are knocking spots off each other here. This is a fantastic battle between this Apex Racing UK car and Dan Hunt's car. Mazda MX-5s here at Spa-Francorchamps. When we get to the line, there'll be 1 lap to go. Hunt on the inside, Chepelevsky on the inside. Dan Hunt's picking up some help here off his teammates, which looks like to be Steve Hefford. Going into Blanchimont. Chepelevsky going to go around the outside. That's going to be tight, and and Chepelevsky nearly going onto the grass there. Oh, I can't get Sutton out of my head. Going into the final chicane. Oh, as Hefford closes in as well. We're all setting up for what is going to be a pretty frantic final lap. Brian Holmes comes. Oh, and Hefford loses it. Hefford half spins the car, loses the position to Ashley Beard, Jamie Ayres, Lorne Murray also getting through as well, Dave.
Yeah, it's action all through the pack, and like you said, you can't take your eyes off Sutton, you can't get your mind off Sutton. It's just a ridiculous feat what he's done in this race. To start 31st and go up 29 places, 29 places is absolutely incredible. I haven't seen stuff like that since, like say Kieran Gallagher and Aidan Moffat. It's incredible, and it looks like he's going toe to toe with McFadden now as they come into Lacombe.
No doubt who Day will be supporting. Stuart McFadden now through into second place. As in back up into the runners-up spot. Sutton might be at the prey of... Oh, Sutton hits McFadden. A little bit of a tap there. But Stuart McFadden's able to rescue the car and keep it all under control. And he remains in second place. But that's just the first of what is set to be many attacks on this final lap, Kev.
Yeah, Ash will be setting up his famous move up to the bus stopper, no doubt, for the end of the race.
Into Rivage through turn 6 and now into the corner with No Name. Sutton already back on the attack. Looking this way and that to try and get past Stuart McFadden and get that second place. 5 seconds between these guys, and Sutton's got a fantastic run on the exit of the corner with No Name, but he's not able to get alongside Stuart McFadden, so he isn't able to get up the inside into Pouon. And in the background, Dan Hunt and Stenny Chapelewski still going at it, but this is the battle we're all interested in. Who's going to get the runners-up spots here? Sutton won race 1, of course. Got disqualified in race 2 after contact with our race leader, Brian Holmes. Sutton bumping McFadden going into the chicane, Dave.
Yeah, it's real pressure going on to young McFadden here, and do you know what? He's making that car as wide as possible. He's doing the clever thing. He's keeping him at bay and trying to bring Peter Van Gool back into it, but do you know what? I think Peter's sitting back thinking, nope, I ain't getting involved in this one, and it's all between McFadden and Sutton as they come up towards the final corners here.
Not too many corners left here at Spa-Francorchamps. What a third and final race this has been. Brian Holmes leading by 5.6 seconds. Here comes Sutton up the inside, then into Blanchimont. What's Stuart McFadden going to do? Is he going to try and hold it out around the outside? He might be trying to hold back and get that move done into the bus stop chicane. That's what he'd be doing here, going into Blanchimont. He's going to get the run. He's going to pick up the slipstream off the back of the CQR car. We've got to give some airtime to Brian Holmes, but here comes Stuart McFadden to the outside.
It's Peter Van Gool as well, looking in there.
Oh, yes, and McFadden back on the inside and hits Sutton. Brian Holmes takes the win. Second place is going to be Peter Van Gool. He says, thank you two. I knew that was going to happen. And Stuart McFadden's going to come through and take third place, with Ash Sutton coming across the line in fourth. That was just the smallest bit of taps there, and I don't know what you think, Dave. I don't think there was much of a gap there at the inside of Sutton in the second part.
It was a racing incident. I mean, we've seen all. We saw there Ash was obviously very frustrated about that one. I don't think he's going to be too happy. But you know what? It's been going from each of them. They've been full contact all the way through. Nothing can take away what an amazing race that was for Ashley Sutton. He's desperately unlucky he didn't get that one there, but yeah, that's a good podium there for McFadden.
Now, I don't know if Samuli Kumo can get a replay of this, but Dan Hunt and Stenny Chapelewski had an almighty incident going into Blanchimont. We spoke of how that battle was going to go all the way to the end, and it's that old favourite of Alex Simpson. It is that quarter panel move going through Blanchimont. Him and Stenny Chapelewski, Dan Hunt and Chapelewski getting together, shades of Luciano Berti and Eddie Irvine almost there going into Blanchimont, and you can see what happened to Dan Hunt's car. He did finish, but he finished in the pit lane, and I don't know where he'll end up being classified, Dave, but that was a huge crash going into Blanchimont.
I'm just having a look at that just now, and that is... we saw that in the last race as well, and all through this evening, is drivers just not giving each other enough space through what is an incredibly high-speed corner, Adam. It's incredibly dangerous. It wipes out both of them from the final lap of the race, and you know, moving forward through the rest of the season, they've got to learn from this.
Well, that's 3 terrible races for Dan Hunt, unfortunately. Rob Hartley comes across the line, the runner-up from race 1 to take 25th place. Michael Barry is no longer running, so Max Wright will come across the line and finish ahead of him, so he will take 26th place. And I think that is all the fit. We've still got Rob Graham to come through. Rob Graham, who was in the pits early on, he'll take 29th. And Forstein Helgeson, who's ahead of him, gain of 11 spots actually for Helgeson. He'll come across the line in 23rd place. A similar amount of finishes to race 2 as they come across the line there. and Simon Roden, the last car, who we saw off in Eau Rouge early on, and Dan Hunt finishing in 30th, 1 lap down. So that incident putting pay to any hopes of a good result, and he had gained about 28 positions at the time of that crash. Brian Holmes takes the win, though, lights the flag for him. A fantastic job for him. Peter Van Gool finishing 2nd place after the handbags between Stuart McFadden and Ash Sutton going into the bus stop chicane. Ash Beard finishing in 5th, Jamie Ayres in 6th, 7th for Steve Hefford, 8th for Lorne Murray, 9th Andy Shield, and 10th for Celine Shepelevsky, despite the contact with Dan Hunt in the final corner of the race. 11th for Diogo Melro, our race 2 winner. Kip Stevens started 12th, finished 12th. Not many drivers can say they did that during the race. Joe McDonald finishing in 13th, Roy Ververke in 14th, Lee Deemer in 15th, Alex Walensky in 16th, Steve Richardson finishing in 17th place, 18th Jason Greenfield, Colin Robinson 29th to 19th and 30th and 20th for Steve Walker, 21st Lee Barmer, 22nd Laura Bond, Scott Malcolm 23rd, Dave White 24th, Rob Hartley finishing in 25th with Max Wright in 26th, Forstein Helgerson in 27th, Rob Graham 28th, 29th Simon Roden, and then there you go, Dan Hunt 1 lap down along with Michael Barry, Alan Mitchell 2 laps down, Matt Bunn disqualified I think 33rd, 3 laps down, Cesaro Rizzo also disqualified 3 laps down, and Lewis Bibby finishing 5 laps down as well. Well guys, yeah, what an opening race meeting of the season. Dave, if you could sum it up for us.
Difficult to sum up in a word. I can sum it up in a noise, which would be whoa. But no, it was fantastic racing. Sets us up for an amazing season, and yeah, I hope next week's going to be even better.
Kev, could you pick out a driver of the race meeting for us? I know one name that springs to mind.
It's got to be Ash, hasn't it? Yeah. I mean, you can't not. You know, he's had a win. All right, yeah, he had some troubles in the second race, but he still came through to get a decent result in that. Well, he was honoured for a decent result until he got disqualified, really. But just race 3, he was just astonishing. You know, the championship going on from here should be fantastic with 3 different winners, but there's not been anyone who's really been in the top 10 every single time. So the championship points should be really open going forward.
Yeah, what a season we've got in prospects. I don't know if we're supposed to have drivers coming to join us for interviews. Give them a little moment. I personally don't know where we're going to next week. But of course, it's Christmas Day next week, isn't it? So I don't think we'll be racing then. But yeah, Dave, this sets up the championship brilliantly, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, looking forward, it's just going to be such a fantastic season. Mainly because the following reasons, right? You've got your first 3 races, and you've got teammates, but you've also got this fascinating thing that I've seen happen throughout the Kia Cup, throughout all the different cups that happen. You get these little temporary alliances, you get these little temporary enemies. And it's fascinating watching the interactions between all the drivers throughout the season. And they take this very, very seriously. They do a lot of training for it, and it shows in the calibre of the driving that we get to watch.
Great, well, it's been brilliant spending time with you two tonight, Dave, Christie and Kev Noon, and of course thanks to Samuli Kumo for being on the cameras. Thanks for watching as well. We've had a fantastic 3 races here, 3 different race winners to start the season. Congratulations to Brian Holmes, Ash Sutton and Diogo Melro. And from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, we will see you at the next race meeting. And from all of us, have a very, very happy Christmas. Good night.